Welcome history lovers to our fifth episode about the shaping of the Maltese nation. Today we will look at the comprehensive Maltese recent history, tracing its evolution from the post-World War II era to the present day. In 1948, Malta's population reached 305,991. However, the political landscape was about to change significantly. In 1949, a notable split occurred within the Malta Labour Party, MLP, led by Dom Mintoff, setting the stage for future political shift. By 1950, Dr. Enrico Mizzi became Prime Minister from September to December, a brief tenure cut short by his untimely death. Dr. Giorgio Borg-Olivier succeeded him in December, leading Malta through a transitional period. During this time, Malta's population increased to 312,000. 1955 saw Dom Mintoff return to the role of Prime Minister. A pivotal event in December 1955 was the Round Table Conference held in London, where discussions centered on Malta's future relationship with Britain. In 1956, a referendum was held on February 14 regarding Malta's integration into the United Kingdom. Although 75% of voters were in favour, the referendum results were contentious due to a boycott by 40% of the electorate, influenced by opposition parties and the Catholic Church. 1957 brought economic hardship with the closure of British naval docks in Grand Harbour. This had a devastating impact on Malta's economy, leading to high unemployment, particularly affecting those employed in defence-related sectors. The population at this time stood at 319,620. 1958 witnessed the breakdown of talks between Valletta and Whitehall concerning the integration proposal. Dom Mintoff resigned as Prime Minister, and a national strike on April 18, led by the General Workers' Union, ended in clashes with police and British soldiers. Dr. Giorgio Borg-Olivier declined to form an alternative government, leading to direct British administration of the islands. In 1959, Malta operated under an interim constitution providing for an executive council under British rule. The political and religious struggle between Archbishop Gonzi and Dom Mintoff's MLP intensified during this period. Now as its first president, the government increased its control over the university. 1975 saw Barclays Bank International Limited taken over to become Mid-Med Bank. In 1976, Dr. Anton Buttigieg became the second president, with Dom Mintoff confirmed as Prime Minister. The Regional Oil Combating Center, ROCC, was established on Manoel Island as a joint IMO-UNEP project, now known as the Regional Marine Pollution Emergency Response Center for the Mediterranean Sea, REMPEC. In 1977, Dr. Eddie Fenwick-Adamy was elected leader of the Nationalist Party. The following year, 1979, saw the termination of the military base agreement and the departure of British forces. The first Freedom Day was celebrated on March 31. 1981 was a notable year with the Malta Labour Party winning the general election by a majority of seats, although the Nationalist Party secured the majority of votes. The Nationalist Party launched a protest campaign against what was seen as an unjust election result. In 1982, Agatha Barbara became the third and first female president of Malta. 2 years later, in 1984, Dr. Carmelo Mifsud Bonici became Prime Minister following Dom Mintoff's resignation. The government faced a 7-week strike by teachers after attempting to make private schooling free. 1985 saw Malta's population reach 345,418. By 1987, Dr. Eddie Fenwick-Adamy became Prime Minister following a nationalist victory in the May general election. Parliament adopted the European Convention of Human Rights into Maltese law. 1988 was marked by the opening of the International Institute on Aging in Valletta and the inauguration of the International Maritime Law Institute at the University of Malta. In 1989, Malta hosted the first gathering of the Knights of St. John since the departure in 1798. The US-Soviet summit held in Malta was pivotal in ending the Cold War. Dr. Vincent Tabone was elected the fourth president. The Malta International Business Authority, now the Malta Financial Services Centre, the Malta Export Trade Corporation, and the Malta Freeport Corporation were established. 1990 saw Malta apply for full membership of the European Community. Pope John Paul II made his first papal visit to Malta, and Professor Guido De Marco was elected president of the 45th Annual UN General Assembly. In 1991, The Malta Maritime Authority was established, Malta Cable Television was licensed as Malta's first cable TV operator, and 2 Vatican agreements were signed between the Maltese government and the Holy See. The new Delamara power station began operations. The year 1992 brought significant developments. The new Malta International Airport Terminal was inaugurated, the Nationalist Party won the election, and Dr. Alfred Sant became the leader of the Malta Labour Party following Carmenu Mifsud Bonici's resignation. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip visited Malta for the 50th anniversary of the George Cross. The 50th anniversary of Operation Pedestal, known as the Santa Maria Convoy, was celebrated. The Stock Exchange and Maritime Museum in Vittoriosa also opened. 1993 saw the reintroduction of local government in Malta, with the first elections for local councils held. The European Union's first report on Malta confirmed its eligibility for EU membership. The first university degree courses in Gozo were introduced, and Malta signed the International Convention banning the use of chemical weapons. The 5th Games of the Small States of Europe were held in Malta. In 1994, Dr. Ugo Mifsud Bonici was elected the 5th president. The following year, 1995, the European Union decided to start membership negotiations with Malta 6 months after its 1996 Intergovernmental Conference. The population stood at 378,132. 1996 saw the Malta Labour Party win the elections held in October, with Dr. Alfred Sant sworn in as Prime Minister. Malta's application for full EU membership was temporarily frozen. In 1997, the Euromed Conference was held in Malta. The following year, 1998, Dr. Alfred Sant called for a snap election after a vote of no confidence, and Dr. Edi Fenik Ademi was elected Prime Minister after the Nationalist Party won the election. Malta's application for full EU membership was reactivated. In 1999, Professor Guido De Marco was appointed President of Malta. The European Union's Helsinki summit ruled that Malta could begin full negotiations for membership in February 2000. The year 2000 saw negotiations for EU membership formally open under the Portuguese presidency on February 15. Malta's population reached 382,525. By 2002, the EU membership negotiations concluded successfully under the Danish presidency on December 13 in Copenhagen. In 2003, a referendum on March 8 determined Malta's support for EU membership, with 143,094 votes in favour and 123,628 against. Dr. Edi Fenik Ademi, confirmed as Prime Minister, signed the Treaty of Accession to the European Union on April 16, 2003. Malta became a member of the European Union on May 1, 2004. Dr. Lawrence Gonzi became Prime Minister after Dr. Fenik Ademi stepped down, and Dr. Edward Fenik Ademi became President. Malta's population stood at 402,668. In 2005, the population increased to 404,962. By 2007, it reached 410,290. Malta joined the Eurozone on January 1, 2008, with Dr. Lawrence Gonzi confirmed as Prime Minister. In 2009, Dr. George Abella became President. By 2010, the population was 417,617. Malta served as an emergency hub during the Libya crisis in 2011. That year, a referendum on May 28 resulted in 122,547 votes in favor of divorce legislation, which was passed on July 25 and came into effect on October 1. The 2011 census showed a population of 416,055, reflecting a 2.7% increase from 2005. The increase was slower than in the previous decade, averaging 1,849 annually compared to nearly 2,700. In 2012, Malta experienced a 9.1% population increase, reaching 421,400 by December 31. Migration contributed to 7.4% of this increase. Live births numbered 4,100, and deaths 3,400, with net migration adding 3,100. Dr. Joseph Muscat was elected Prime Minister in 2013 after the Labour Party's victory. The following year, in 2014, Dr. Marie-Louise Coliro Preca became President. Malta made headlines by legalizing medicinal cannabis in June and launching the Malta Individual Investor Program, MIIP, in July. In 2015, Malta hosted the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM, for the second time. The country faced a significant increase in migrant arrivals due to the European migrant crisis. In 2016, Valletta was designated as the European Capital of Culture for 2018, and a major corruption scandal emerged involving the Panama Papers and Maltese politicians. In 2017, Malta held the presidency of the Council of the European Union during the first half of the year. Prime Minister Joseph Muscat's Labour Party won re-election in June. In October, investigative journalist Daphne Caruana Galizia was assassinated, sparking widespread protests and calls for justice. Valletta's European Capital of Culture year began in January 2018. By December, 3 men were charged with Caruana Galizia's murder, although the case remained controversial. In 2019, political instability grew due to intensified protests over corruption and the Caruana Galizia murder investigation. Prime Minister Joseph Muscat announced his resignation in December, effective January 2020. Robert Abella was elected as Malta's new Prime Minister in January 2020. The country imposed strict COVID-19 measures, including lockdowns and travel restrictions, starting in March. In 2021, Malta launched its COVID-19 vaccination campaign in February and achieved a high vaccination rate by May. However, Malta was placed on the Financial Action Task Force (FATF) grey list in June for issues related to anti-money laundering and financing terrorism. Economic recovery efforts were in focus in 2022 as Malta dealt with the pandemic's effects. The Labour Party, led by Robert Abella, won the general election in March. In June, Malta launched initiatives to improve its financial regulatory framework in response to the FATF grey listing. In 2023, the Malta Gozo Tunnel project faced delays and environmental concerns in February. By July, Malta was removed from the FATF grey list following improvements in its anti-money laundering measures. In November, protests and debates intensified over environmental and urban development issues. In 2024, Malta continued to emphasize economic growth and diversification, focusing on technology and green initiatives. Discussions and plans for constitutional reforms were ongoing to address political transparency and governance issues. Malta's journey from a British colony to a thriving European nation is marked by resilience, strategic adaptation, and progressive reforms. The country has navigated significant economic, political, and social changes, embracing EU membership, modernizing its infrastructure, and addressing contemporary challenges such as corruption and financial regulation. Malta's cultural heritage and strategic location have always played a crucial role in its development, fostering a unique blend of tradition and innovation. Throughout its modern history, Malta has demonstrated a remarkable capacity to evolve, from overcoming economic hardships in the mid-20th century to becoming a key player in the European Union. The island nation has continuously worked towards improving governance, enhancing its international standing, and ensuring a high quality of life for its citizens. Today, Malta stands at a crossroads, balancing its rich historical legacy with the demands of a dynamic future. The emphasis on economic diversification, technological advancement, and environmental sustainability reflects Malta's commitment to continued growth and development. As the nation looks ahead, it is poised to leverage its strategic advantages and address the complexities of the globalized world. In a historic and symbolic moment, Miriam Spiteri de Bono has been sworn in as the 11th President of Malta in a state ceremony at the Grand Master's Palace in Valletta. This event marks the beginning of a new chapter in Malta's ongoing narrative of resilience, progress, and national pride. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Malta's rich and evolving history.